Hey
Hey,
everybody, welcome back to our shop. You've been watching these videos, hopefully seeing our series going through a bunch of uh, looking at the bench, looking at the way that we use our tools, the way we set them up, how to get them going, how to kind of troubleshoot some of this stuff. We have our uh, getting to work series, we have our setting up shop series. We've been going through this kind of stuff. We've been getting a lot of feedback, a lot of questions and comments from people, and we're making videos kind of in response to questions to make sure that we're addressing everything we can. But we're working through it, and we've just been loving it. We've been able to provide information as much as we can, but we get this sense that from people, when we hear comments and we talk to other woodworkers, they're interested in hand tools, but they think, I need the new catalog. I need the
right.
hottest new tool. I don't have thousands of dollars to put out for all these brand new expensive fancy tools. But if
Yeah,
you've seen our videos, you know that we don't either.
we
That's
don't
not what
either.
we have. We just have these old things, and it's not just because we're cheap. It's because we love them. We really love using old tools. There's so many good reasons to use old tools, and you've seen we actually put these things to service.
Yeah. So one of the primary reasons is the cost, right? If you're
Yeah.
just getting started in woodworking, especially, you have a limited budget and you don't necessarily want to go and drop $300 for something like a nice dovetail saw, where one of these will cost you a tenth of that. You can go and find these in bins and boxes on shelves or online. These things are all around and they're everywhere. And they're often of as good or better quality than a lot of what you can find
Yeah.
today. They're handmade tools or they're made of good quality steel. They've been often just well loved and well cared for over their life. Maybe they've seen some neglect over the last 50 years, but they can be brought back. They can be rescued. Another thing about old tools that we talk about a lot is just the beauty of them.
Yeah.
These things they're like works of art, right? It's just like
Yeah.
carvings and very beautifully done. Whereas if you're just getting started and you're looking for a bargain handsaw that cuts well, you end up with something like that, which is it's just kind of embarrassing.
Kind of depressing.
It is. So they're beautiful, they're really high quality, and they're cheap.
So that's the thing. I think a lot of people get started in woodworking and they think either I can get high quality and beautiful,
Right.
or I can get cheap.
Right.
But these are
These are
both.
both.
This is inexpensive and super high quality and super beautiful, and it's also a way to connect with our ancestors who were woodworkers before
Right.
us. When
Exactly.
this saw was used for 150 years of daily use,
Yeah.
and you're putting your hand right where the last guy put his hand, you're really connecting with a lot. So we're really sold on antique tools. When we go shopping, when we go around our local antique stores, we're finding this
Yeah.
stuff all over the place, and we talk about that, and then we hear people say, well, I don't have those antique
Yeah,
stores.
I'm from like the west coast of the
Sure.
U.S. or somewhere else. I go to the antique market and I see one wooden bodied plane and it's full of fake flowers or something, and it was super expensive. And so we are very fortunate here in New England. This stuff is everywhere. So, but there are really no excuses to not look for these things because a lot of our tools we've found online
Yeah.
on eBay UK. We have a whole list of used tool sources on our blog, on our website, places that you can go and find these for maybe just a little bit more than if you get them in a flea market, but still less than new.
Yeah, you should jump on eBay and search wooden jack plane,
Yeah,
or eBay UK wooden jack plane, and you'll see what we mean. And then you can't say to us anymore that you don't have access to
yeah,
them, because you do. There's so many online tool sellers, and especially quality tool sellers who are selling user tools, and a lot of it is really it's not so much of a sourcing question. It's
right.
not like I don't have access to them. You do. If you have the internet connection, which you do, obviously, you're able to jump on these websites and find a decent user plane or user saw and bring it home. So the issue isn't so much the sourcing, it's when you get this thing in the mail or you get home from the antique store and it's just covered in dust. Maybe it's kind of rusty and you say, whoa, you
Yeah.
know,
Where
now what
do
do I
I
do?
begin? Because that's the next objection we often hear from people about getting into old tools is they say, I don't know where to start. Like troubleshooting these things, like, oh, look, the saw plate, there's a little bend in it, or
Yeah.
the tooth line's a little irregular, the tote's a little loose. How do I even get started? I just rather get something brand new, fresh out of the box. I'll pull it out, I'll start making shavings. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, I don't want to have to, deal with getting my tools working properly. I just want a tool that's going to just work right out of the box.
And that's a bit of a contradiction, because even if you buy a top of the line brand new dovetail saw, you cut some dovetails, pretty soon you're going to have to sharpen it. And pretty soon you're going to have to deal with maintenance and like cleaning up the tote and things like that.
Or with a hand plane, or with a hatchet,
Yeah.
or with a marking gauge or a chisel. Or name one tool that you don't have to sharpen.
Yeah.
Name one tool that you don't have to replace the handle eventually. I mean, this is just part of using tools, is maintaining them, understanding how to adjust and use them. It's just basic woodworking knowledge that maybe you don't have right at the beginning, but it's one of those things that these are the first steps to being a woodworker, to understanding how to use and adjust your tools.
And it's really valuable to get started on these old tools that have been kept going for years and years, that have been lovingly maintained. For you to learn sharpening on this tool is a valuable experience, and then you can keep this tool going off into the future. So really the challenging part, I mean, everybody's a woodworker, right? This is a very simple thing here. This is just a block of wood. People might think, oh, what if this is wrong? What if that is wrong? There's really very few things that can go wrong with these. And we've talked about, between us, the number of planes that we have restored. Honestly, it rarely takes more than 45 minutes to get this from the trunk. You bought it at the junk shop, and get it going again, making shavings.
Now, there are, woodworking is sort of it's obviously a skills-based thing. If you're a woodworker, you realize there are all these different skills that I have to develop to be able to build furniture or, houses or whatever you're going to do. So there are a lot of skills involved with woodworking. However, they're not really coming into play here.
Yeah.
This is, restoring old tools is not a highly skilled activity. It's a pretty basic, straightforward thing, at least, especially the way we do it. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So, we're not investing tons of time and tons of expertise in order to get these things actually functional. We're just doing a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of sharpening, maybe a minor adjustment here or there, and they're ready to go. They're ready to make shavings again, or make kerfs,
right,
or, chop mortises. So we've been going through so many different things on this channel, looking at some of these tools, looking at how they work and how they, can really be put to effective use. So we thought, maybe what we should do, we're kind of limited in how much we can do through a little YouTube series. Let's put together a whole course.
Yep.
Let's make a whole course and go through all these tools, all of them, as if, our student has an armful of dusty, dirty tools and says, all right, guys, how do I get these things going?
What do I have to do now?
And so we thought, let's make a whole course. And, we said, be a couple hours.
Right.
We'll just kind of walk through. Here's how you get them tuned up from the dust bin to the bench. How do you get them all ready to go? We have hours and hours and hours of footage.
It has snowballed. So we've been putting together this course, and we're going through, these lists of things. We really want to cover as much as possible for getting a shop equipped with these heritage tools. So we've gone through a plane, picking it out, selecting it, what to look for, what to reject, what is repairable.
And for you all,
I
even restored a metal body plane.
It's amazing. What
the things that I am willing to do for you guys.
Yeah. So things like even joinery planes or molding planes, you have this wedge that is, it's frozen to a legendary degree. Like, this wedge hasn't been out in 60 years. I can't get it out. I don't want to beat the thing to death. How do I get this wedge out? So we talk about that. We talk about sharpening this profile, how to get this thing back to cutting molding again. We talk about saws. You take a look. Sometimes there's a barrel full of saws. Like, which one do you pick out?
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for? What do you reject? What is valuable for use? And how do you fix things like a bent saw plate, a bent spine, pitting? How do you clean up the surface? How do you fix the handle, all kinds of considerations like that that really are pretty easy fruit to grab when tuning these tools up.
And even thinking about the wooden surfaces too, whether it's a plane or a saw tote, how do you preserve that beautiful patina, but clean it safely and get a fresh coating on it so you can use it and not be all dirty, but it's still a beautiful thing. What's the simple, easy, quick way to make it actually preserve that patina and keep that going? We looked at marking gauges. I rehandled a chisel and talked about different aspects of that. I mean, it was just, we just kept going with so many.
Even up to bench vices. So sometimes you'll find a big threaded rod or something like this, a whole leg vise. Maybe it has the nut, maybe it doesn't. What do you do if you find one of these without the nut and you want to put this back on your bench? So Joshua walks us through how to make a nut that fits these threads perfectly. And it's a lot easier than you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's not a fancy way. So, I mean, our whole goal with this course is to not to do it the most extremely precise, best, most impressive way. It's really to get you with your pile of dirty tools from the store ready to go. So it's really pretty no nonsense, pretty straightforward. Although we spend a lot of time going into a lot of different avenues with this, if you just walk through the basic, how to get a bench plane going, it's really, really straightforward, really quick, and it's a pretty accessible and approachable thing. So we're really excited about this course. It's coming up really soon. Right now we're in the editing process. Everything is kind of coming together, and so we don't have a whole lot left to do. I mean, if you're interested in this, stay tuned because we have a lot of great stuff coming your way super soon. Would you say super soon?
Super soon.
Right around the corner. So we appreciate you watching our videos and seeing everything we're sharing here. And if you do, we think you're going to be really excited about this new course.